Hello, good to have you along. I'm Carolyn Hawley. A bill introduced in the State House would rewrite Idaho code around human trafficking laws. The bill's sponsors say that the change in wording is all about helping victims of human trafficking. Our Jude Binkley joins us with what you should know about this. Jude.
Well, Carolyn, the main point of this bill would be to rewrite state human trafficking code to change the word prostitution to commercial sexual activity, to place an emphasis on the crime and activity of human trafficking instead of the possible victims. Now, this proposed law was introduced earlier this week in the House Judiciary Rules and Administration Committee. The bill is sponsored by Representative Jaron Crane. However, he said the Attorney General wrote the bill. Now, during the bill's introduction, Representative Crane explained why they want to change the wording. It really boils down to making the crime about the activity and not the victims of human trafficking.
The bill substitutes commercial sexual activity for any form of the word prostitute to avoid victims. We want to make sure that when we're talking about this is very sensitive, that we're not labeling people in such a way that even harms them even more than what they've already gone through. It's going to shift it to the conduct as opposed to the label. So that's why we're using the term commercial sexual activity.
Now, data from the Idaho State Police show law enforcement agencies across Idaho reported 36 offenses of human trafficking in 2022. Now, that's a 414% increase from 2021. However, some local agencies believe that number is underreported because the crime can be difficult to track and report because human trafficking often happens at the same time as other crimes. Now, Crane says they want to rewrite code to make human trafficking laws more cohesive and more consistent.
And to structure the crime of human trafficking in such a way that the law enforcement can more easily and readily connect the crimes that they are investigating to human trafficking. You can't talk about human sex trafficking without talking about commercial sexual activity. So we want to make sure that we're using consistent definitions all throughout the code.
Paying for sex would still be illegal, and anyone who knowingly benefits from sex trafficking would also be committing a crime. But there is a change with how the law works for minors. The crime of providing commercial sexual activity would no longer apply to children. Crane says this is because children cannot consent to sexual contact and shouldn't be criminally prosecuted. Now, again, this rewrite was introduced last week, and it's now known as House Bill 494. Eventually, the committee chair will schedule public testimony, and we should hear from some law enforcement groups as well as the AG. And Carolyn, that's something we will follow in addition to all the other bills our team is keeping tabs on this legislative session.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. Thank you, Jude.